All righty. So here we go. We got the pregame show for week 3 of Miami Fair. I got on, well, I don't know how this is going to line up, but David Haere, correct?
Yep.
Out from BC. And I got Nathan Bain from Southern Ontario. They're going to go through their program with me. Welcome, guys. Thank you.
Thanks for having me on.
Anytime, boys. So yeah, we're going to start with the first race. Going to be a fillies and mares non-winner of a race. Why don't we go to David? Who do you like first?
I took the inside horse with a driver change and drawing the inside. I think he might get away better this week, and it might try to go wire to wire potentially.
All right, yeah. Who do you like for second? Just do your top.
Okay. Yeah. For second, I like the outside horse 5. His Century Mile races last year might line up well, and off the qualifier should be good to go. So I like 153 in the first.
153. All righty. What about you, Nathan?
I'm going to go to the one as well. State Your Case. This one just seems to be bringing in the most speed here. With the 2-4 mile, seems to compare pretty well to this group. There's some other have similar times, but I think this one shows the most consistency, and with an inside post could be hard to beat her here. The one I went to for second is 3, Having Fun in the Sun. Did have a post 7 last time, so it draws a little better to post 3. So with the Sunshine Beach filly drawing in better post, finished 5th out of there and a decent time similar to the one. So I think she could be a major exactor factor here. Third was a bit tough. Those two seem to stand out a bit the most. For third, I'm going to go to the 4, KCS Kiss. This one seemed okay, but not to level the other ones. But I think the 1 and 3 are going to be the ones to beat in this race. They seem to stand out the most.
All right. Yeah, I agree with, I think we both, all 3 of us picked the 1, State Your Case. Don Howlett, he was the top driver here last year. I think that'll be a good, he'll get a good trip on the inside. I could see this horse leading wire to wire. For second, I also have the 3rd, Having Fun in the Sun. Think that this one, will have a good trip as well. I went for 3rd. I went for AK Flipper to Bird. I just like saying that name. No real other reason than that. It had a decent time, finished 2nd last week in the 2-year-old race. Tyler Grundy in the bike, and I believe, the only 2-year-old in the field. So let's see if that 2-year-old can shake up the triactor. So let's go to race number 2. David, who do you got?
I got the 2 horse. I went Colonel Kelly, like both of his races so far at the meet. I think 3rd time might be the charm for him. I also like the 4 coming off the break. Hopefully he can stay flat this week. And for 3rd, we'll throw in the 5 from outside post. His 208 mile should put him right in contention here. 2, 4, 5. All
righty. And what about you, Nathan?
I'm kind of similar. I went to the 2, Colonel Kelly. It's been hard to go against the favorites here because this horse does show coming off a 2nd, just got beat by a head 2, 2, and 1, which that time compares very well and stands out in this race. So kind of hard to go against him showing those kind of times. Before he's had some 2 minutes and was racing a Century Mile there, made some breaks, but seemed to have straightened out now. I also went to the 4, Buck Rogers for 2nd. Did make a break last time. I had a win before. Not the same kind of time levels that the 2 Colonel Kelly showing, but could be okay for the exactor spot. 3rd was a bit tough, but I went to the 3, Get It Done, bud. Finished 4th last time. Seems to be getting in the money, but at least an okay post. Could get in the try there. Possibility.
Alrighty, yeah. So again, we all agree for the top spot. I like the 2 Colonel Kelly. I thought it was very telling. There's 2 Clayton Braybrook bred trained horses in this race, and he takes the 2. But for second, I'm going to go with his other horse, number 5, Kagoris. I liked how it looked last week. One of the very few, Clayton's one of those guys who usually sits back and waits to the end, but he let that horse go a little early. And I think Daryl Mason will probably do the similar thing. And I think it'll definitely be a Clayton Braybrook trained exactor in that one. And for third, I'm going to put Buck Rogers. Driver change, Christopher Brown. I like Chris. Might just be a little different tempo where you got the horses used to Glenn, who I believe is 11 wins out of our 2 meets. So, now going to Chris could just be a little difference of experience there, and he could finish out the try. So yeah, I got the 2, 5, and 4 in race number 2. We go to race number 3, Dave.
On this one, I like the 5. Last week ran a really good race. Just went down by a nose in a close finish. I think he can bounce back this week with a win. I also like towards the inside number 2 for second. Coming in from Century Downs should be good to go. Usually they travel in pretty well. And then I'll follow that up with the 3 horse Owls Dragon Jack for third. I'll go 5, 2, 3.
All right, good stuff, David. What about you, Nathan?
Well, again, I'm in the same. Another one, we're in the same case where the favorite kind of stands out. It's hard to go again. I'll go the 5 here. Race really good, last time out second, just beat by a nose. Does have some early speed, and that's always a key on a half-mile track. What one can get to the front too. So I think that one just stands out to me. Another one to maybe look at is the 3 Owls Dragon Jack. Finished 5th last time, or 3rd the week before. Did have the 2-5 mile on here's the date, June 26th. The only thing concerns with the 2 toughest buff is coming from a 5H track, so going to lose a couple. It's going to be a bit slower coming to the half, but the 5 just shows time's good compared to that one, so I'm gonna have to go 5, 3, 2 in here.
Yeah, we're all pretty in line. I like the 5 as well. One of the downsides, I guess, of these small tracks, usually the favorites are heavy favorites. I think the 5 will come, right off the edge and fight for the early lead. And for second, I'm going to take the 3 Owls Dragon Jack. I liked its 3rd place finish 2 weeks ago. Didn't have the same effect last week, but I think it'll slight inner post position should definitely have a chance. And I'm going to take the 2. I always am a little weary of the horses coming off the top tracks because it's hard to handicap because he's got a lot of, near the back of the pack finishes, but now he's coming into a smaller field. So for me, I'm going to do the 5, 3, and the 2. All right, night race number 4. Got the Silk Lace leg number 1 for 3-year-old Manitoba bred fillies. David, who do you like in this one?
I like the 4 coming off a solid second last week. Might be the best filly on the track, named Philly. Looked very good. Got caught around the 3/4 and then battled on for second. I'll go 4 on top. I like the 3. Donald Howlett maybe can trip out in this situation, run a solid second. And then third, I just threw up a coin, ended up with a 2, 4, 3, 2.
Sounds good. Yeah. What about you, Nathan?
Well, I'm in a similar situation again. I think the 4 and the 3, Million and Send Me a Tweet, they just stand out so much better than the rest of the field. And I think this is going to be a strong exactor pair with these 2 because they're both showing speeds that others aren't. You got a 2-2 mile, 2-2 and 3, then 2-4 and 1. But these 2 are just so hard to go against, and I think they stand out very well compared to the field. If I have to throw in one for the try, I think I'd go to the 5. Love to Live raced okay before, then made a break. Before the week before had a decent qualifier. So if this filly can stay flat, she could be a try factor here.
All right. You know what? Yeah, I had the 4, 3, 5, but I just changed my mind. I'm going to keep the 4, Millie's Million. Yeah, very easily could be one of the best 3-year-old fillies on the track. The only one better is Philly, who doesn't draw into this one. And for second, I like Send Me a Tweet with Don Howlett. But for third, I'm gonna throw one out here that neither of you guys took. I'm gonna take the 1 Moonshine and Melody, the number 1 horse. Had a couple seconds last year in the 2-year-old stake races. Had some decent times. Has the inside post. And Corey Manning, he's kind of the disturber driver on track. So I could see him having the inside post and making those other fillies on the outside really work for the front end and maybe tire them out. And that Moonshine and Melody could have a little bit of energy in the back end. So I'm going to take 4, 3, and 1 in the Silk Lace. And in race number 5, it's going to start our pick 4 as well. David, who do you got?
I went with the rail horse here. The last race he ran pretty good. The time might not be the greatest, 2:08, but he definitely ran solid and looked like he had a lot in reserve. I went second, number 2. I think these two will come out 1-2 out of the gate, and then it'll just depend on who's got it in the stretch. For third, I went with a 5, Donald Howlett, taking over from Mark Fillion. Should be tough in there, and I'll go 1-2-5.
Sounds good. David, what about you, Nathan?
Well, I'm going to go different from my top pick. I'm going to go the 2, Sassy Libby, raced Miami on June 26th. Finished second there in 2-3. I like the time here. I mean, she showed a decent first start, and she's only going to be better a second start. And the thing I liked best about her is from her qualifier, she did go roughly 6 seconds faster. So it shows that she's really learning the ropes. And I think second start, she's going to be ready to go. For second, I went to the 1, an easy winner in his second start there by a winner by 6 and 2-8 and 3. Not showing the times Sassy Libby has, but that one does have winning experience. So again, I think those two are the one to take down. And lastly, I wouldn't leave out the 5. She had her first lifetime start last time out, finished second, 2-5 and 2. So I like that second right on the first start. So it could be any of those 3. I mean, they all have some decent experience. So it's going to be an interesting race. I think this is probably my favorite one so far. I love seeing the younger horses develop too. So
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to this one.
I think we're all around the same ballpark, because I took the 1, AK Up and Adam, just like the inside post. Thought that might give a little advantage to the younger horses here. And then for second, I took the 5, Fallout Girl. Not that Mark's a bad driver. I just gave the slight edge to Dawn, and then Mark Fillion with Sassy Libby, the number 2. So I just went 1-5-2 in this 2-year-old pace. And the pace that's in the race that starts our pick 4. So, that could get a lot of people out early in our pick 4. So take that. We already have a carryover going into this week. I believe it's $200. Not crazy big, but bigger, more money. Let's go to race number 6. Now this is our Horse and Geldings Open. David, who do you like in this one?
I went with the West Coast horse here, previously running out. Has a couple races under his belt at Miami. Read the Proposal. He has a lot of back class. Used to run just under the Open out here. For second, I went with the 4 Baylor out, another classy horse from Alberta. Usually flies a straight. And then I went for third. I went with the 3 Liz Place. I think he'll just trip out. Maybe might get up for second, but I took him for third. I went 2-4-3.
Sounds good. David, what about you, Nathan?
It's tough to go against Read the Proposal here. I think he brings in a lot of class this race, especially betters to light horses if they ever got speed. And racing the Open last week was an easy winner there. 59 flat was the winner the week before, jumped up and handled the rising class pretty well for the $4,500 claim of the Open. And drawing an inside post once again, I think he can show his early speed and if gets on top, he can easily get away from this bunch once again. For second, went to the 1, was in this race last week. Finished second, there was the runner up to Read the Proposal. Now gets the rail. So this one could mix it up a little bit here this week too. So for third, I went to the 4 Baylor out, also won the race, the Open, finished third. So those group of horses all hit the try box last week as well. So I think it could be a similar case again this week in the Open.
Yeah, for sure, Nathan. I took the exact same as you. Read the Proposal. Really hard to go against a Trevor Williams trained horse. Tyler Grundy gets this one, going for 3 straight wins. I took the 1 at Pagitura, gets the inside post. Tough one to say. I feel like I'll be saying a lot on Saturday.
I'm glad I don't have to announce that horse.
It's the worst one. Like when I first saw it last year, I was like, okay. But yeah, Pagitura, I think those two will battle it out, see how it goes. And Baylor out, I have for third 2/3. I was pretty high on this horse coming into the year, just with its success
Mhm.
from before, and I need to see a little bit more from it. But I have the 2, the 1, and the 4 in the second leg of our pick 4 in race number 6. And race number 7, another open, but this time for the ladies, fillies and mares. David, kick us off, man.
I went in the seventh with number 3, Pure Edition. I think he'll leave out of there quick, or she'll leave out of there quick, sorry, and should run a decent mile. I think the other horse I might leave with some speed is the 4, even though he doesn't really show too much speed at the Miami Fair yet. I think they'll leave together. And for third, I went with the 5, Rusty's Flying. I think he'll close up pretty well. So if these 2, the 3 and 4 get in the pace battle, just watch out for the 5 coming late. I went 3, 4, 5.
Awesome. Nathan, who do you like in this one?
Well, I'm gonna change up a bit. I'm gonna go to the 5, Rusty's Flying. Didn't work out last time out at Clinton on June 20th, but before this mare, she'd make some breaks and then she'd bounce back the next effort. So I'm hoping that's the case here. And I'm hoping she's gonna offer a little bit of a price. I mean, this mare has got plenty of class, and I think she's got a decent amount of wins lifetime too. So if she can stay flat, I think she might give a little bit of a price. I'm hoping so. And just change it up here and beat some horses that have been there for a while. I'm also going to touch on the 4, Cowboys Dream. Finished 4th, 2-1 and 4 last time. Decent post again. I think this one just needs to be on her game, and she should be good in here. And also touch on the 3, Pure Edition. Second, 2 minutes and 4. 2 minutes and 1 the week before, but I think I'm just looking for a bit of a price this race.
Yeah, sounds good. I'm going to take the 3, Pure Edition. Last week, it's hard to read in the program, but that horse ran almost too wide, I believe, the whole mile, and finished that in 2 minutes and 4/5. So if she gets to the inside, I can't see her getting caught in this week action. For second, I'm going to take the 5. Yeah, like you said, Nathan, when she runs flat, seems to be better, and hopefully she can run flatter this time out, and then hopefully make a little bit more of a price in the exact or try area. And I'm going to take the 4, Cowboys Dream, with Tyler Grundy there. Yeah, again, had a couple force, but I think can hit the top 3 in this one. Not too much of a fan of the 1 and 2, so I'm pretty sure the 3, 4, and 5 are kind of the safe bets in this one.
I think if a Cowboys Dream just gets a little closer near the start, she could maybe be more in the mix. So
Yeah.
So we'll get more up close.
Yeah, see how it goes. That's race number 7 there. Now race number 8, believe in the final leg of our pick 4 and the Golden Boy stake, leg 1 for 3-year-old sired colts and geldings, big 8-horse field. If you don't get kicked out in the first leg, there's a good chance you'll lose the pick 4 in this one. David, who do you got?
I went with the morning line favorite in this one. I've been on him since week 1. Looks like a solid horse, good gate speed, gets away well, runs good times. For second, I went with back in the sulky, Daryl Thiessen, who unfortunately had an accident earlier on this year at Century Downs, but looks to bounce back with his first ride here. I think should be right in it. And then for third, I went with the rail horse. I think he's going to trip out. Probably 2, maybe 3 should be able to suck along. I went 4, 3, 1 in this one.
Awesome, sounds good. Nathan, who do you like in this one?
How can you not go against like Serial Killer? I mean, like this horse yet to lose in its life. Just makes the lead, and he seems to just run away from them when they can't catch him. Leaving from a good post once again, just seems to be going faster every single week. Coming home, good times. So I think this is gonna be a heavy bet down favorite. Just can't go against this one. For second, I'll go to the 1, Promise to Win. Finished their second last time out. On July 3rd, leads from the rail. That should help. Showing some decent times. Another one that keeps gaining more experience and showing improvement. For third, I'll go to the 3, Dawn's Night Owl. Once again, as you said, great to see Daryl Thiessen back. But he's back a lot earlier than we all thought he'd be, so we'll be rooting for him. This horse did win last time out on July 3rd. just seems to be another one that just seems to be getting better and showing some promise that that one can get in the mix, and looks like it's had some trouble staying flat. So if this horse can stay flat, I think he could be a mix in the try as well and be a factor there.
Yeah, sounds good. So yeah, you said something interesting. You said, how can you go against serial killer? Well, I am going to go against serial killer, and for that one fact, Daryl Thiessen. I think he's going to have a lot to prove out there. He's got one start, and it's going to be with this horse, number 3, Don's Night Owl, and I think he's going to do it. So he's going to take that one, and it's going to. Hopefully, I'll be the only one sitting there with the pick 4 because of it. For second, I'll take serial killer. Like you said, getting better and better and better. I just got a hunch. Daryl's a guy who's got a lot to prove, and he just loves to compete. So, broken, whatever he has, he doesn't care. He's going to do it. And for third, I'm going to take the rail horse, number 1, Promise Me a Win. So I got the 3. Oh, Daryl, if you're watching this, man, please win. And then the 4, and then the 1 in the finale of our pick 4. Race number 9, going to a claimers here. David, who do you have?
We might want to name this a seniors pace. Everybody in here's got some racing under their belt for this one. I ended up going with the 2. I think you'll trip out. By trip out, I mean, I think he likes to come first over. So I think he get away into 3 or 4 and then go first over and try to get him at the wire. I followed that up with the 6, the old classy claimer there, Red Star Tiger. Usually has success actually on the fair circuit a couple years back. I believe he was winning some races, so should be in there good. And then the next thing, Smoking. I think he'll try to go wire to wire. I don't know if he can do it this week, but last week he was able to pull it off. So in this race, I went 2, 6, 1.
Awesome, sounds good. Nathan, what about you, man?
I'm going to the inside. Next thing, Smoking. I mean, race from the 3-hole last week, winner by 2, gets the rail once again. This horse, with the cheapest claiming amount, of course, draws the inside, and that horse, I mean, he's used it to his advantage a lot. So with the early speed, I think this is a bunch he could bit tough competition with the rail. If he gets on top, he could be tough. For second one to 3, great quote. Race second last week, seems to be in the mix and really pretty much at the board all of his starts on the program. So it's hard to count this one out too when they're showing consistency like this. I mean, if you just look at the last start and they're bad, but they're good the ones before, like they've shown consistency before, and that's something I look at. I'll also touch on the 2, just made a break last time, but had some good starts before that. So just toss out the latest one. So did show good starts before that, and I consider those to be important as well.
Awesome, sounds good. So yeah, I'm gonna take the 1 as well. Next thing, Smoking, the wire to wire finished last weekend. Kevin, yeah, he's gonna try to do the same thing again. He doesn't want to be in the back of the pack with next thing, Smoking. For second, I'm also gonna take Great Quote. I like the second place finish last weekend, just for right behind next thing, Smoking. But I'm also going to take the 6 that I believe David threw in his Red Star Tiger there on the outside. Dropping down, was in the non-winners of 7 last week. Now coming into the claimers, I think that horse will for sure have something to say from the outside. So I'm going to go 1, 3, and 6. Oh, we're getting there, boys. Race number 10. David, who do you have?
I went with Senga Savannah. I think he'll try to go show some gate speed this week. Hopefully can find a 2-hole or maybe even the lead if possible. I went for second. I took Bold and Sporty. Great race last week. 2 minutes and 3 time. Tough to beat that. If she runs back to it this week, it'll put her right in the mix. And for third, I went with the rail horse, the 1. I think this is a touch of a step up. The 202 and 1 probably has to knock a second or 2 off that to be right up there with these. But I think they might get a decent trip from the rail. I went 3, 4, 1.
Awesome. Nathan, who do you like in this one?
I'm going to go to the 4, Bold and Sport. I mean, since she made the trip to Manitoba, I mean, she's hit the winner's circle both times, 2 minutes and 3, and got away second. Then by the half, she's first, then she just wins. So I think she's on a roll right now. Comes from the high percentage barn of Trevor Williams. So bold and sporty. I think you'll see her place forwardly in this race, and she seems to be closing well too. So it's just hard to go against the horse that such on great form as she is. For second, I'll go to the 5 2 shoes. Hit the board all the time as the last 3 starts. So showing okay times, but not to the level that bold and sporty is. So I'll use that one as an exactor factor. For third, I'll go to 3 Senga Savannah. Third last about 2-1, 2-2. Showing okay times. This one could be one to throw into your try, but I think bold and sporty, just the form that she's on right now, I think she'll be heavily bet in this race, especially as I said, coming out of a high percentage barn. She's definitely the one to beat here.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to take the 4 as well. You basically said everything I had written down. Trevor Williams trained his barn. I have his stats somewhere. He's one of the top trainers this year, was one of the ones top last year. No Glenn LeDrew this weekend. Unfortunately, he's got something else to go to. So a lot of his horses are having other drivers, but I think Michelle Ray will definitely take care of business. For second, I'm going to take the 5 2 shoes with Mark Filion. I like how this horse ran over the last 2 weeks with the win 2 weekends ago on the 26th of June, and close second on July 3rd. So I think that's one to watch out for. And I think we hit the exact thing there, Nathan. I'm going to take the 3 Senga Savannah. Finished third last time against Bold and Sporty. And didn't have such a great trip, or finished 5th in the Open, but now in a different class. I think that gelding will have a good shot. So I'm going to go 4, 5, 3 in race number 10. And now we get to the 11th race. David, who do you like in our finale here?
This is where I like my value pick of the night. If you look back at the last race from number 5, Haere home, is the 2 horses that beat him have come back this week and already won both the races over Century Downs, overactive and chasing shadows. So I think shipping in a little bit of speed, hopefully can either get the 1 or 2-0. I'm going to take 6-1 morning line, number 5 on top. For second, I went with the 7-5 favorite. All the gate speed you want, should get away good. And then for third, I went with a 4, Dean Ray. Probably trips out, makes it close for second. I went 5, 3, 4 in this one.
Awesome. Thank you. And Nathan, who do you got in the finale?
Well, I wasn't going value here. Trevor Williams' barn is just so hot right now. So it's kind of hard to go to another barn, but Tyler Grundy on this one. Farmer Strikes Fame. Race the last 2 starts here at Miami, and 2-4 and 2 the first time. The next week 2-2. So I'm the sports writer too, so it's got pretty solid breeding. I think this one's going to be forwardly placed and it could hold on, but there is some other tough competitors in here, and that's why I'm going to touch on a couple other of them. I also like the 5 Haere home as well. Finished 4th at Century Downs on the June 15th, was a winner there. A dead heat in 59-2. So it's showing pretty good times in here. Obviously coming from the 5/8 tracks, you got to factor that in too. But this one just seems one that's been on its game a little bit. So she can maybe one to be be a factor in here. I'll touch on the 6. Race July 3rd, finished 4th. I think that she's in a bunch where she could be competitive, but just needs to be on her A game to be like an exactor factor.
Awesome. All right. Yeah, I agree with the 3. It's really hard to go against Trevor. Farmer Strikes Fame. Like you said, 204 and 2 and 202. Pretty consistent around that 31-second mark, closing quarter. I went a little different though. I got my favorite horse, number 1, Electric Amethyst, 12-1 favorite right now going into it. This mare, the only mare I've ever seen win a race and then have to qualify because she broke twice. So if she stays flat and everything goes according to plan, I don't know how she can't win. I've never seen a horse come back 16, 17 lengths like that to win once and then lose by a nose the week before. So I'm going to go with the 1 there. And for third, I have the 4 Me So Classy with Dean Ray. Nice third last week in 202 and 2. I think Dean will be looking to factor in the triactor in that one. So that's our picks for all 11 races. Thank you guys again for doing this with me. And
Thank you.
make sure to, get to those betting windows pretty quick.
I'll be for sure supporting.
Awesome.
It's a 16 buff in the